now rocking with the best. Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The Kid Kings podcast that make you wanna listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie, you're listening to the fighter's voice.
Good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Richie Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And like Marc Castro, our guest was simply knocking out the competition. We're going to cover a lot today. First of all, right now, top news, Virgil Ortiz. The fight is, I want to say postponed, but it's canceled. As of right now, it's canceled. That's what was emailed to me. Virgil Ortiz Jr. pulls out a fight against Michael McKesson. Diagnosed with, I'm not even going to go there, with something. Well, first of all, Virgil, I hope you have a fast and speedy recovery. I hope first and foremost that you are okay and everybody around you is okay. And as far as Michael, you got to get your opponent. So, any 147 pounders, step up right now, today. How about Showtime Sean Porter? Give him a call. See if he's ready. Give Danny Garcia a call to see if he's ready. Give all these 147 pounders a call to see if they are ready to step up to the plate. Because in boxing, things like this happen. And as far as things happening in boxing, we're going to give our guest a call right now, Marc Castro. He's going to talk to us about this fight that just passed by and what's coming up in the news. He's going to update us with the Jose Ramirez fight. We had a chance to watch it, and I'm going to pick his brain about this weekend's fight. It's still a fight it is in Dubai. We just pro day. Jumping back into the ring. Let's try to get him up. See, I can already have it prepped, but I like the whole format of live TV and raw TV. I like it when they do it with something, so when you try to copy it, you can't. I should put the number on the screen. It's like a little wide. Television. YouTube. Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, is this Marc Castro?
Yeah, this is Richard.
Hey, Marc, welcome to the Fighter's Voice, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just finished training right now.
Man, you know what? That's what I like about you. You're what you call a gym rat. You just got done fighting last week, and you're already back into the ring. Now, if you're back into the ring, it's because somebody gave you a call and said, okay, Marc, I got you scheduled for another fight. Can you drop some news on us right off the bat?
Yes, I'm fighting on the Canelo card, May 7th, in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena.
That is huge. That is big. Huge. Once again, see, you know what? One of my questions was going to be for you. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to mix it all up. Hey, what's your relationship with Canelo Alvarez?
I would say it's a relationship. Just here, every time he sees me, he kind of like shows love, gives me props. Ever since starting, since my pro debut.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because I do see that. I do see that from him. And you were the co-main event of that pro debut. I mean, who's the co-main event of their pro debut? You don't want to do that. Of their pro debut. And I can tell you who else was, but we'll talk about him later on in the show. I mean, when you were the co-main event, your pro debut, did you have butterflies? You stepped up to the plate, or you were good to go? I know what the outcome was.
I'm going to be honest, I got a adrenaline rush, something I never felt before. I was just like super happy, super excited, and anxious, and like kind of in a way, kind of forget
were anxious because later on, me and your dad talked about that first round. After the first round, I know you had to settle down because you were everywhere. I mean, you were getting ready to walk on the moon.
Yeah, it was, that first round was, I didn't go out there and do that. My dad probably told me that. It's kind of like, you have to go back to what you know, stay calm, and everything will come from there.
You know, you had one heck of an amateur career, and a lot of people have bet stake that you would represent Team USA. And then all of a sudden, you decided to skip that and want to turn pro. How tough of a decision was that? I'm taking you way back because a lot of people thought that you would also be there with Richard Torres from Tulare, who represented Team USA as a heavyweight.
Yes, it was a tough decision. Sometimes only you want to stay in the Olympics. Other days you don't just want to turn pro. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like I took my time to make the decision. And I was happy with the decision that I made. And without kind of that way, really glad I feel like it's God's plan all along.
Well, hey, man, I say this a lot too, and I know I received something from God, or I know it's God's decision. I always tell people that are close to me, I say, look, I'm not going to wrestle with God, because you're not going to win. It's not what you wanted to, He has for you. So I can concur exactly what you're talking about. Mark, I've watched your fights. I even watched you as an amateur, in Fresno, and I watched you, make your Fresno debut on the undercard of Mikey Garcia. You look sensational. I'm a big fan, and a follower, and as a supporter. I'm watching. Oh, absolutely. It's easy to support you. Actually, Mark, you know what? If you look back at it, I actually ring-announced one of your fights in Fresno. Now that I recall.
I think it's so
Fresno, yes. And then on the undercard was some of the Vargas brothers. One of the Vargas brothers was on the undercard.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Wow. I didn't know it until right now. Now, I'm watching your fight, Mark. And I mean, right off the gate, there's no filling out process. You and your opponent, Madero, you guys just start swapping. You guys just start moving. And you talked about it yourself, that you faced adversity. And yes, you did. A lot of people, honestly, because it's a privilege to face adversity. Because you can go 25-0 with 25 knockouts, and you meet somebody that pushes you, and you may not be ready for it. So, early in your career, you taste the canvas for the first time as a professional. You had to dig down deep, but you knew there was enough in the well where you could be successful and fight to that victory. What was it like in that second round? Let's talk about that.
Yes, okay. The second round, I was just going to keep swinging, and I eventually got carried away from the game plan, and I ended up staying in there too long, and we ended up catching me.
When you say staying in there, let's talk about boxing terms. You're talking about in the pocket, correct?
Yes, not using my skills and my key work, and got caught, didn't expect it,
Well, you hit the canvas for the first time. Okay, let me say this, just like Muhammad Ali did, just like Mike Tyson did, just like Julio Cesar Chavez did, just like Oscar De La Hoya and Manny Pacquiao and all the greats. The sport is boxing.
Yeah. I got realized I got dropped, and I already knew that I got that from him, so I just fixed that and just keep, got back to the corner, my dad let me know I was done leaving, and I guess I took the game plan, and then I took home the victory.
I want to say this. That punch, all it did was just wake you up. Honestly, that's what I saw. because you finished the round and you caught him with the combinations. I mean, you were throwing 6-punch combinations, punches and bunches, man. And you were trying to, and not only trying, you did find a home for that right hand. But I just wish you would have caught him. And he was smart. He stood at the end of it instead of trying to smother it. I wanted you to catch him coming in, but you know, as a fan, I was still close for you, man.
Yeah, it was it did wake me up. And it always showed my other skills that people are nice to see.
Yeah, which is one of them. And, you know, I'm very happy that you do have a chin in boxing because you absorbed some big shots in that round, put it behind you, and you gave him a boxing lesson, and you let your hands go. Was that the transition you needed to make? Was that the advice your dad gave you in that second round? Well, I mean, after that second round in the corner?
Yeah, he just told me relax, don't take my punches, and just control it, control it, kind of just don't throw it as much, because I'm giving it a chance in the big things.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about that. For him to counter it in that exchange, at least if he tries to counter once or twice. I noticed after that you kept him at the proper distance, at the end of your jab and at the end of your punches. You didn't allow him to get inside the pocket anymore.
Yeah. And it was, I just didn't, he was still there, he went there, he was trying his best, and he was looking at that battle.
Well, hey man, the matchmaking over there is brilliant. I mean, for you to have a great fight, a tough fight this young and early in your career, it speaks volumes, man. Because when that adversity comes once again, been there, done that, and you're ready to face it again, and prevail after the outcome once again.
Yeah, and I think it was like you said, a good learning experience. But more importantly, like the matchmaking was good.
Yeah, hey, it gave us exactly what we want in boxing, and that was a good fight. Now we're looking forward to May 14th, correct? No, May 7th, right?
Yeah, May 7th.
What's the game plan? Do you know your opponent? What are you going to change? What are you going to adjust to after the experience that you got from your last fight?
No opponent just yet. We're still looking. They're still looking for an opponent since it's still like 8 weeks away. We're gonna get the opponent probably in the next couple of weeks.
Picture went down.
And for the next fight, kind of like work on the same things. I believe like it's all like IQ. I went through that, and I know that. More importantly, like I knew like my preparation for that fight was good. So like I've never went the full distance, and now knowing and going the full distance, I know that my conditioning that I've been working on with my dad is there. And usually that's huge in boxing. And the game plan for this fight is just keep on doing the same thing, kind of training the same way, and work more defense as well. And but we always work defense, but just become super prepared like I did last fight.
Well, I know you work out a lot even when you're not in what I'm saying, when you're not scheduled. You continue to live inside of the gym, and you like to have fun with your workouts. I was watching your head movement. Hey, Mark, you got an iron ball coming at your head, my man. I mean, what do you got, a third eye there? Is it a different sense, or what's going on? When do you know when to move, man? That's pretty risky. That's pretty bold. But is it the timing, or what are you focused on during that time? And those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Mark has a video on TikTok, and it is Take It Off. It's him moving his head side to side. He's blindfolded, and you have this like metal ball moving around.
The idea behind that is just I feel like there's a box. There's like a box of an area you need to get out of the way, and little by little, like you learn the timing of the kettlebell or the
Yeah.
any ball. Like you'll learn the timing, and once you learn the timing, you could basically like fight blind. And I know some people say it's like not helpful and stuff like that, but it definitely is. It's helped me a lot. I've been doing not the kettlebell, but I've been working on that head movement since I was about 10 or 11 years old. I just one day during I uploaded it, and then somebody said do it blindfold, and I did it blindfold, and from there it just kind of like blew up.
Yeah, it seems to, even other fighters have mimicked your exercise. I would say, and I noticed you used to even hang out a lot with Ryan Garcia, and what were those conversations like? Because you got two top fighters, you got a young up and comer, you got a prospect, and then you got a contender. How much of it your conversations is boxing, and how much of it is just free conversation?
Me and Ryan, it's I say it's like maybe like 50-50. Boxing, kind of like talking about our opponents or talking about our experiences or just things like that, or like big fights and on top of that, like sometimes like life and um, I've been knowing him since I was like 11 to 12. We have like I don't we're like our parents are like friends and things like that, and just little things, and we kind of like grew up in the amateur scene together, so it's just like 50-50. Just ask advice on anything, and just like uh, it's just like I feel like he's a good friend and a good fighter as well.
During those conversations, not getting too personal, did you guys ever share dreams like this is what I want to, this is what I want out of boxing?
A couple of times. But this back then, like usually it would be like me just saying I want to go to the Olympics, and for him, he just wanted to go. This is when we were really young. Him going in to go pro, and since he was on Team USA, he didn't. My my thing was I want to go to Russia and win gold, and his was I want to turn pro, and we both ended up. He ended up going that route, not going to Team USA, and I ended up staying with Team USA. And like fast forward, when he was bigger, like just him headlining cards and me going, and him just like how does he feel? He feels excited, he feels nervous, and just things like that, and just like or like ask him, oh, how's his weight? Did he have a good weight cut? Just little things like that.
Yeah. No, he has some very good upbringing too. We got to hang out with his mom a little bit in Las Vegas, and she happened to win some money, man, on a slot machine. So right now, the Garcia family, I mean, you can actually say that they're kind of rolling all the way around from the entire family. You know what, Mark, as highly as you talk about other friends, I am very sure and positive they're doing the same thing whenever they ask of you, and I'm sure they share the same stories as you know. One thing I want to ask you is another person who just recently made his professional debut out of Tulare, and that's Richard Torres Jr. Represented Team USA, got the silver medal in the heavyweight division. Also, in his pro debut, had a chance to co-main event under the Jose Ramirez fight. I noticed just recently, it was last week, and you guys were at a boxing event, and both of you guys were there hanging out. What are those conversations like? And I always believe iron sharpens iron. What's your relationship with Richard Torres?
I haven't talked to him for the longest. And we just kind of like caught up. I kind of asked him, like, how's he been? How's everything? Like congratulated him on his medal. He congratulated me on my last fight, and just talked about like how he felt his pro debut, and just like what's he been up to. Like, I know he's going to college, and then just little conversations. I seen that he's been taking dance classes. I asked him about that, and he just let me know like he just took it up, and he likes it.
Hey man, he has to learn to dance. You know, if he sees somebody special, he wants to ask him to dance. He don't want to show that he has two left feet, or if somebody asks him to dance. You know, he wants to be able to shake a leg or two. Speaking of dancing, Mark, do you go dancing? What do you like to do besides boxing? What does Marc Castro have fun enjoying? What do you enjoy doing?
Um, Honestly, like might seem like super. It may like I live a simple life, but like the best thing I like to like stay low key, stay private. But honestly, I live in the gym, hang out with my family, hang out with my friends. We go we go to the gym together. We probably go like outdoor activities like maybe bike rides, maybe hikes, and just things like that. I'm not an amusement park type of person. I don't really like amusement parks, so just kind of like just hang out. Honestly, like me and my friends could hang out on a Saturday night and just talk, just watch YouTube together, just hang out at my house, hang out at their house, and honestly just hang out with my friends. Been having the same group of friends since I was 11 or 12, and they're basically like family. And it just honestly just hang out and maybe watch basketball games. I'm a huge Laker fan, and just watch sports in general, and just probably go out to eat, but nothing crazy. I keep it simple.
Well, you know what? I've seen you a lot, and I've seen you smile a lot, but I've never seen a smile as big as the one where you're standing right below your billboard, man. What was that experience like? Do we have that picture? We can pull that up. You're standing right behind your billboard. I mean, your hometown of Fresno, which you take pride in, and you see yourself there. I mean, you know, cars are passing by. You pass by there. What's that feeling like, Mark?
That feeling is like a little bit of shyness, because I feel like I'm still like that shy kid growing up. Like people notice me, like, but as well a little bit for sure proud, but sometimes like be shy. But it's a crazy feeling, because like you're really on a billboard. It's something like damn, like it's something that it's hard to believe, but you see it, and it gives you a motivating factor. And for other people to see it, that's my biggest like motivation, their reaction to it, like people's reaction, because they're like, for me it's like, oh, it's a billboard, like, yeah, it's nice, but then like people like go crazy because they see that, oh, we seen you, it looks nice. And that's because I do it for my fans and my supporters, and they push me to the limit always.
Well, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I had to try some Ultra after I saw that billboard. I had to try some Ultra. I did. We'll get back up here. I did. You know what? Not too bad. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that's tight.
You got no comment on that one, huh? Look,
yeah, I don't drink.
No, well that's good. I mean, and you know, hey, I respect that. Yeah. Now, have you had time at all to watch? Because I know it was the day before. Did you have a chance to watch Jose Ramirez, his fight that took place a day before yours in Fresno, California?
Jose, I watched a couple rounds. Like I watched it at the end because I was sleeping. I think I watched the 10th and 11th round, the 12th round. But he was like cruising to victory. So I only watched a little bit.
The little bit that go ahead.
He did good. He bounced back. I think his next fight should be a title shot.
Well, I'm hearing it's going to be against Cepeda in July.
Yeah, WBC.
Yeah, the WBC. See, Mark, we know people that know people that know people. So
yeah,
that's not going to be a cakewalk. I'm telling you whatsoever. Both men have improved since the first fight. Cepeda, as you know, he flipped his whole career around. I mean, now he's become somewhat of a knockout artist, and as well as his he's picked up his level of competition, and he's showing everybody what he's made of, what he's filled with the sweet science. And Jose, I mean, he's learned so much and he's so hungry now. I anticipate one hell of a fight. What's your take on that?
For sure. I feel like it's gonna be a great fight. But I feel like Jose's should pull it off. Jose knows what is. I think Jose's loss has better experience because I know there's a pay to always kind of. I don't want to like talk trash. I just think Jose's gonna overwhelm him and take home the victory.
You know what? Jose made the best transition that he's made today fighting a southpaw. I've always watched, you know, it took a couple rounds for him to make that transition. Jose made the transition from round one. That's the best he's looked fighting a southpaw. And you got the naysayers and the haters, whatever you want to say. They always got something to say, as you know, Mark. You can become 10-0 and 10 knockouts, and they're still going to say things. But Jose, I thought, you know, Jose's back. I will say this. Jose's back, and I agree with you. His next fight should be for a world title.
Yes, definitely. And I think Josh Taylor's going to vacate, and it's going to leave everybody open to get a world title.
Yeah, you know, because Josh Taylor's a big boy. I met him in Vegas a couple times. I had the opportunity of interviewing him a couple times, and very well spoken, very well mannered, and, you know, respectful guy. He's a big boy to make that 140 pounds, and I think making him a legitimate welterweight is probably the best move by his camp. The reason I bring that up now is because your last fight, you know, was at 135, and it's usually at 130. How did you feel at 135? Are you going to stay there, or are you going to come back down to 130s?
I felt good. I felt solid. But I feel like they wanted to see me how I look and how I felt, and I do feel good. But at the same time, I felt like I can make 130 as well. So we're just gonna take it day by day. But I feel like I could do 130 and make a run at 130, and we'll see from there because. And then just living that lifestyle of like a fighter, and I believe at 130 I could do it.
Well, I told people, I said in the next year and a half, this kid's fighting for a belt.
Yeah, and I feel like whatever. My job is to stay in the gym and stay getting better every single day, and the belt, the world title shot, all that. You never know. Just like how Bam Rodriguez got called up and fought for a world title. I just need to keep improving. So, shout out to Bam.
Yeah, shout out to Bam. Congratulations, Bam. And the brothers, Bam and Josh.
I don't want to say shocking the world because everybody felt like he was going to win. But it's just that he needs to go through that. Walk that path, and he's put in the work. So when the time comes, and say it's 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years, everybody elevates at their own pace. But I'll be ready whenever the title shot comes.
I'm sure you will be. I'm sure both you and your dad, you know, mimic other fighters in the gym just in case you get that opportunity. Is there anybody? Well, I'm not going to ask this question because it's of course you watch all the champions in your weight class, and as well as you should. You and your dad watch every fighter that's within your weight class, 5 pounds above you and 5 pounds below you. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. So when you do get that call, that opportunity, you can make that transition. Now, have you ever, you know, in the gym just have some fun and maybe went around to the left side, you know, took some rounds on the southpaw stance? This is a question that was somebody submitted, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, here and there I switch it up. Just keep on mixing it up because, like, from the amateurs, like, I feel like I did well because we trained for whatever, like any situation. And even that, me say I actually, like, for example, say I actually mess up my left hand and I need to go, I can probably, maybe I can go southpaw. And I do it. I work out southpaw before, and
or even to protect the eye.
Yeah, just things like that. And just I've we prepare for any situation, and whether that's southpaw or not southpaw, and whether that's anything you can probably think of. We just prepare, and that's our job as fighters, because you never know what happens once you get in that ring.
Exactly, and I'm sure your dad's constantly. I was going over game plans and different scenarios. I don't know if you know this or not. Me and your dad, we talk every few days, every couple of days. We'll talk, and even if it's brief, and you know, we have some personal conversations, and there's times, honestly, I'll reach out to him and I said, hey man, I need this from you, and he says that you got it. And at the same time, I mean, iron sharpens iron, because I'll ask the man, hey, keep me in prayer about this, and then he says, okay, you got it. And sometimes, he'll share some things with me, and I say that because leading up to this question, he's your dad, I'll always be your dad. How do you separate the two, from dad to trainer?
I feel like sometimes it's hard to do, and I feel like um, in the ring, a boxing ring, I don't think you separate it in the boxing gym. It's really tough. But it's like we're there for a reason. We both have the same end goal, so it's in the boxing gym. There's no separating in the boxing gym. But once you go home and just things like that, it's more easier. Kind of like we just have like normal conversations, or just. But at the end of the day, like we're both have the same end goal once we get home as well. So like he knows, like sometimes like I don't want to talk about boxing, and I know that sometimes he doesn't want to talk boxing. Maybe it's just talk about other things, and we know how to make that transition once we go home. But once it's like kind of like training camp mode, like we're both on. We have that switch, and so we both have the same end goal. So it's pretty easy. We know when to have those conversations, just like regular conversations, and we know to separate it once we go to the gym. But him being my coach, and him being in my corner is just is just super super good for me, because I know that he has my best interest.
Of course, man. I mean, he's actually half of him. I mean, you may not think so, or maybe you do. He's in that ring with you, brother. Trust me. Trust me. Any father right there is ready to lay down his life for his child. So he's in there with you. And yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. He is looking out for your best interests. And as he did it, how tough a decision was it when it came to signing with a certain promotion team? Because you had your top ranks, your PVCs, your Golden Boys, you had your match rooms with Eddie Hearn. How tough of a decision was it? I mean, did it come down to two, and then you decided to go a certain way? Or was it just an easy decision for both you and your father?
My dad it was an easy decision, because my dad let me be my own person and let me make the decision. But he was just kind of like a sounding board, where I let him know, like, hey, what do you think about this, and maybe this guy, or like first finding the manager, and then we got the manager, and then finding the promotion. And I feel like at the end, like the best thing was keep praying about it and see how things unfold. And I felt like God was leaning me towards Matchroom, and it all made sense, because getting on the Canelo undercards, all the exposure I've gotten, and really thankful, and I'm blessed, and I know it all comes from God. And I remember when I first signed, one of the things I kept saying Eddie Hearn is the future. That's why I'm going with him. And it's crazy how when I signed, Canelo wasn't even, like, you wouldn't even hear Canelo going to Matchroom. And if you did hear it, you would think someone sounds crazy talking like that. And the way it unfolded, Canelo lawsuit in November, and then December, he ends up fighting under Matchroom, and I get on the card, and I find out a day before that I'm co-main event. It's just so crazy, and God is the one that orchestrated it all, and it feels good, and I feel proud to say, like, I'm a big believer that God did all that.
Amen, brother. Like I said, I'm not going to wrestle with God. I'll never ever what's the word that I'm looking for? Compromise my values. I already know it's one way and it's one way only. None of this. Oh well, we all serve different gods, but there's only no. Because some people may make this case right here their god, or their car their god, or what have you. But there's only one Jesus Christ, bro, that died for our sins, rose on the third day, and that can walk on water. I can't walk on water, Mark. Can you? So only Jesus can heal the blind and feed the hungry. So don't get me preaching, Mark. Come on now, man.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You're right.
But I want to ask you this, Mark. What was your take on the news that just arrived today? Virgil Ortiz, he was scheduled to fight this Saturday. The Zone Boxing in the LA area postponed. His fight is postponed now. Oh no, I'm sorry, canceled. It's canceled.
I was training when I seen the news, and I just seen he pulled out, and I didn't get to read it until after. And I seen something that was like the blood work, and I read up a little bit about it right now. Something about he had since Friday, he was sent to the hospital and he wasn't looking good in training. And honestly, it's a lose-lose situation for everyone involved, for his opponent, for Golden Boy, for him, his health. He's a fighter. I know he wants to be in the ring, and him training. It kind of sucks that it took this long for them to find it, But it's good that they found it before the fight, because you never know. Because sometimes they could just go forward with the fight, but I know it takes a lot more to actually postpone the fight than actually just go through the fight. Because fighters are like, I'm good, I can fight, but it shows a lot for him to actually pull out from the fight.
No, it does, and I wanted your take from a fighter, actual fighter, because you're right. A lot of fighters, they'll say they're good, and a lot of times that's when their trainers or their fathers need to come in and say, no, let's move on to another day. Let's get right. Let's make sure we're mentally and physically, spiritually right. Now, Mark, I will tell you one fight that will be taking place this Saturday, and it's going to take place in Dubai. I don't got a direct time yet. I text Regis earlier, and I didn't get a reply back. Regis Prograis, man, against McKenna. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, McKenna. This guy's coming after his head. Now, Regis says, I'm going to knock this out. Regis is in tremendous shape. I watched one of his videos, and he admitted as a fighter, he says, look, I need help. I'm hiring a professional nutritionist, so I don't struggle with my weight any longer. Not only is he on fight weight already, Mark, I mean, he looks phenomenal. What's your take on this fight taking place, this matchup, and also the career of Regis Prograis?
I don't know. I don't have that much. I never seen the guy he's fight, but I know Regis is really tough, former world champion, and just I feel like he should take it home with his experience, and him probably having the nutritionist probably makes some he probably lit a fire in himself just to take another shot for a world title, and he's probably super motivated. And I believe he should take home the victory. I'm not even sure who the other guy is. And no disrespect to him, I just think that Regis is super talented and he's super tough. So, and he was a world champ for a reason. And I feel like he should be back there soon.
Hey, you heard it only on the Fighter's Voice. Marc Castro with his breakdown, his take on Saturday's fight. Mark, what I'm hearing word on the street is if Regis comes home successful, he's supposed to fight for a vacated title against Arnold Barboza. Now, that's one hell of a matchup. See, everybody's banking on Josh Taylor vacating. So you got all these 140-pound fighters. I mean, the 140-pound division is absolute fire right now. If that takes place, that is going to be a key matchup.
Yeah, and I feel like Rodriguez versus Barbosa. I think that's like a fight of the year type of fight, and the 140 pound is gonna be super. It's gonna be super crazy because I feel like Devin Haney will probably move up soon, and he should probably get a shot at the title right away. And maybe Tofimo. Tofimo is gonna be in the mix for sure as well. So it's gonna be interesting because a lot of these guys are saying the 135 guys are little for 140, but you never know.
No, you never know. I mean, there's a lot of fighters that have moved up, and when they moved up, they were very successful. I'm gonna name one fighter who was able to move up all as far as he can go. He even later on in his career fought Roy Jones, and that was, you got to remember, Felix Trinidad continued to move up from weight divisions, and Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, the list goes on. All the legends. I see Marc Castro, when it's all said and done, at possibly fighting even at 154s, depending on your height, depending on where you're at, maybe 160s, and that's at the very end when you call it a day. Do you see yourself transitioning later on in the higher weight division?
God willing, I feel like I hope it happens. I'm gonna continue putting the work in the gym, and my body fills out, and we take the right fights, and basically take care of my body, and don't take that much punishment. Don't stay in that many wars. I feel like I should be there, but whatever God wants to happen is gonna happen, and I feel like I'm gonna just do my part, stay in the gym, take care of myself, and I'm excited because that's those are huge dreams, and I feel like little by little, if I put in the work, I feel like I can get there.
I'm smiling right now because I was going to ask you, what's your favorite thing to eat? But I already know, man, because when we went to your after party, pull up that picture of me and Mark. Not only were you dressed slick, my man, you must have threw down about 12 tacos, bro. And I was like, get on down. He earned it. He deserves it. He came off that victory. That food was off the chain. I mean, again, shout out to your dad. He invited us down there. The food was outstanding. And what was it at the end? Was it crepes or something we had at the very end? That sweet stuff?
Yeah, it was crepes.
Oh, man. And tacos, I mean, come on, man. I'm waiting for the next. I'm waiting for the next after party, Mark. When are you gonna fight in Fresno again?
I'm not sure. I believe I should fight in Fresno this year, but
Wow.
Whenever a match wants to come back again, I'm sure they will, and I'll be ready.
Yeah, of course you will. I know you will. I want to ask you this. I'm going to change up just a second because I want to show some respect to. Did you ever watch WCW at all?
Honestly, yes. I'm a big WWE like WCW fan.
Well, WC, do you have that picture? Get ready to show up. Go ahead and pull it up in a little while. Okay. Well, we're going to pull up a picture right now because the wrestling world lost a fighter, a wrestler, a character. And, we're going to put his picture up there. And I'm sure you know who he is, right? Razor Ramon?
Yeah, Razor Ramon. Yeah.
I mean, his character was cool, man. I remember he had that toothpick in his mouth, and, he always handled the sport the way it needed to be handled. And, he may not be a boxer or anything, but, in the fighter's voice, you're always fighting for something in life. And I know he had some complications with his health, and, Scott Hall. And, he fought the good fight, man, and he fought as best as he could. So we always take time to mention, sometimes it slips through our fingers. We can't mention them all. And like today's Floyd Mayweather Sr.'s birthday. But right now, I want to take this time in the fighter's voice, and, we're going to just take a brief moment of silence, and, Scott Hall and his family, and our condolences go that way.
Yeah. Respect to the legend, and our condolences for sure.
Exactly. Well, Mark, there's some more I want to talk to you about, and you're familiar with Fresno, California, right? I mean, you know that town. That town loves you. Well, come May 14th, not May 7th. So this is a week after your fight, Mark. There's going to be a throwdown there. It's called the Throwdown. It's called Throwdown 5. No Town Throwdown 5. It's going to take place at the Tower District. And the main event is going to be, you know Brian Williams, right? Coach Brian, Coach B?
Yes.
It's going to be, there you go, Brian Batman Williams versus Adam El Gato Gordo Zamudia. It's bad blood, man. They're even though they're officers, these guys really don't care for each other. They never did. In the police academy, they didn't get along. During different beats, different shifts, they didn't get along. Let's pull up that poster again. It's going to be real. I was asked to do a sit down with both these guys, and I did say, look, I'm not here to play referee because I know these guys don't like each other. I will, we'll do this, but I'm going to make sure we have some people there, maybe a buddy of mine, LeVar Johnson, UFC veteran, just in case. My point is this. I'm looking at the poster right now. Richard Torres Jr. is supposed to be there, sign some autographs and make an appearance as well. But you know what I do see, Mark? I see some emptiness on that poster. There's room to put Marc Castro's face on that poster. So I don't know what your plans are, man, but May 14th, a week after your fight, man, love to have you there. It's at the Tower District. It's sponsored by the Police Association, Fresno County Public Safety Association, man, and give you something to think about. I don't want to throw it at you right now because you're focused on your fight. Take care of that victory, and love to have you there, man, and support Fresno and the police officers.
I'll definitely see if I could make it. Like you said, for sure, just focus on my fight and just. I don't want to overlook anything else, but
absolutely, man. I couldn't show you something without throwing the invite out there.
Yeah. So yeah.
Or just show up as a fan and just have a seat. Oh, Brian, Coach B.
Yeah, I know Coach B. He's huge, and I think like for Fresno boxing, everybody knows him.
He is. I mean, listen. If you mention boxing in Fresno, and if you don't know who Brian Batman Williams is, you don't know boxing. And I don't want to quote Roger Mayweather because, that's a whole different show. That's on the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass podcast where we can let a word fly here or there. But Brian's done a lot for the community. Brian's done a lot for the sport of boxing. But, as an officer, he's met some people. And Adam Zamudia, El Gato Gordo, to be frank with you, Mark, he don't give a shit about Brian. He's saying, hey, we're going to settle things in the ring May 14th, and it is two officers that don't get along. Can you imagine that, Mark? Would you ever think that?
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like it's good for them settling through boxing, and it kind of helps for the entertainment factor that they don't like each other. But and I think there's no better way to handle it than in the boxing ring.
Well, there's no better way to handle it, but yet in Fresno, California, the Tower District, No Town Throwdown 5, May 14, 2022. Tickets available now. They went on sale. They're $40. You can get them at Ticketmasters, or you can contact promoter Ernie Hymes or contact the Fighter's Voice. I'll send you a link, and you can buy your ticket. But I'm going to make sure if you and your father are available, we're going to have to take care of you, Mark. But first and foremost, I know you're focused on May 7th, Las Vegas, Nevada. The last time I saw you in Las Vegas, I mean, the energy was crazy. I forget what fight it was. I happened to see you there, and you said, hold on one second. I want to go say hello to Richard Schaefer. And, I mean, everybody there, they were just, I mean, they treated you with open arms, man. I mean, you made an impact on everybody you came in contact with. Even though you're with a different company, a different promotion company, how's your relationship with all these other guys that are just, I guess you can call them friends because they all reached out to you?
At the end of the day, like, it's business. You never know who you're going to be doing business with, and there's no need to. We're out here for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's boxing. Whether I'm with them or not with them, there's no bad blood with none of the promoters, and I feel like you just have to. I think they're just saying um, like for sure. I think they're just saying don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
Um, because you might have to cross those bridges one day.
I agree with you. Oh, okay. I'm gonna address this question, but I'm not gonna address it. Okay, this person has sent me this question 3 different times. They said, ask Marc Castro about another fighter that's in this area if he would ever fight him. And I'm not here. Okay, this is a different type of show. Okay, first of all, this is a different type of show. Okay, if it was a debate show, I'd gladly ask Marc. Marc, what do you think of so and so? This show, our guest is for Marc Castro, and we're here to highlight Marc Castro. I'm not going to put him against a corner, but I do acknowledge you, and I appreciate the questions that are coming in. But just another time, or maybe I'll mention it to Marc after the show. I'm just not going to do it today, right now, this minute. So moving on, Marc. So you got to remember, some of the questions, I got a screen on myself, bro. You know?
Yeah.
But when you get that world title bout, it's going to be you against the world, as you already know, because everybody's going to come fishing for it. Everybody's going to come campaigning for it. Everybody's going to come hungry like you know what, because they're going to want a piece. They're going to be calling you out left and right. Now, being that said, even though it's early in your career, when it's all said and done, what legend would you love to share the ring with? I'm not saying you're calling them out, that you would love to share the ring with.
I can't even think right now on the top of my head. But I know that there's honestly don't even know. I can't even give you an answer. But I'll give you like eventually when I get up there, like maybe like I'll just give you like a dream matchup, like maybe
Okay.
like spar, like if I would ever to spar. I know it happen at all. That like maybe like Chavez back in his prime, like if he can go back in time and like actually spar him and see how good the work was.
There you go. Hey,
Yeah.
I can see that. What about you and Barrera? I think that'd be one heck of a dream match there.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely a legend. But for sure, Chavez probably, since he's probably the one of the greats in the Mexican boxing.
Well, Marc, you kind of answered my next question. Who inspired you? I mean, who did you watch as a fighter and say, you know what, I'm really digging what this guy's doing?
Honestly, it came to I think it's Canelo. He took my passion and turned it into an obsession. Um, and knowing and seeing him work and seeing him like how he handled himself, it just took me an obsession because I feel like he's just a normal person. He just trains hard every day and stays humble, keeps his head down. And he's got where he's gotten because he's been disciplined, he's been dedicated himself, and he's been putting the work in. And more importantly, he's just been staying out of trouble and staying out of the media.
Well, you know what? He is the face of boxing, and he's a champion inside and outside of the ring. We can say that about a couple people, but he is the face of boxing, man, and he handles everything with class. Every once in a while, you know, just because you see a fighter nice doesn't mean, you got to remember, they're a fighter. So don't put him in a corner because they'll let you know what time it is. And he's not afraid to let you know, but at the same time, he'll turn around and pay for somebody's mortgage, pay for somebody's medical bills, always reaching out and just makes time for the normal person. And you said it best. He sees himself as a normal person.
Yeah, and it's I just feel like Canelo probably took that. I know the answer seems super basic, but watching him and it's my generation, and Canelo is at the top, and I feel like for him to know me, it's huge, and for him to show me love and acknowledge me, it's a crazy feeling because it's like kind of getting recognized in soccer terms by Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi or maybe getting recognized like if you're playing basketball by LeBron, by Kobe, rest in peace, and just things like that. It's just huge for an up and coming fighter from like myself.
And there you go, man. I mean, leading up to the show, I think I posted you like 6 different times, man, that you were going to be on the show, and every single time you got a good response. I said, hey, next Tuesday, March 14th, Marc Castro on the Fighter's Voice, and people take a liking to you, man. They really liked you. And then I posted one earlier of thumbs up for Richie on my other channel, on my other page, and where me and you took a picture together. We're giving thumbs up for my son, and there was a lot of contact there because people take a liking to you. And I'm not just talking about Fresno people. I'm talking about worldwide people. How many people do you think, honestly, that you made an impact from the whole travel when you were doing the amateurs? Because you went around the world, man. I mean, we watched you. I mean, sometimes I had to get up at 2:30 in the morning and watch you compete.
I can't even say a number, but I'm just happy that I'm in this position because I know that I'm not trying to be someone I'm not. It's just who I am, and people kind of resonate to that, and I think people can see right through if you try to be fake or try to be something you're not, and I think that's why a lot of people support me and give me that genuine love, and it's huge, especially for boxing because you kind of have to build it's not about it's all about the fan bases in boxing because if you have a huge fan base, then you can sell out crowds and sell out arenas. But I do it I always said that I always bring people together. I always brought my family together when I box, and it feels great to know that my family and friends like support me like crazy, especially here in Fresno.
Exactly, and we're looking for the next time that you compete here in Fresno. And I appreciate you coming on with this phone call. Next time we got to go from a Zoom, or I got to have you in studio, Mark. I know you got a crazy schedule, but I like to see if we can do right before you take off to Las Vegas. I plan on being up there. I can't miss that fight. That's the plan anyway. I know I'm going up there for Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez, which one of my last questions I'm going to ask you. How do you see that fight taking place? But before I ask you that, I got to have you in studio, man. Maybe after your fight in May 14th. And, hey, man, iron sharpens iron, man. I've been supporting you, and I know you support the Fighter's Voice, man, the only voice that matters. And what I said on the top of the show, we're like Marc Castro. You know why? Because we're simply knocking out the competition.
Yeah. And definitely if I could make it, if it fits in my schedule before the fight, then I'll do it. If not, I'll give you the interview after my fight.
Hey, sounds fair enough to me, man. Real quick, Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson, taking place, Las Vegas, Nevada. How do you see the fight happening once that bell rings? What do you think of the matchup, and who do you think's gonna be raising their hand when it's all said and done?
I feel like it's gonna be a tough fight for both fighters. They're both gonna go in there and. Shakur has the skills, Oscar has the heart, and he shows the heart. Before Shakur don't have that much experience as Oscar, and Oscar's been a lot of tough fights, but I feel like Shakur will win a lot of early rounds, and Oscar will come finish strong, and it's gonna be a tough one to score. And I honestly say I'm not gonna pick a winner. Just gonna say that the fans are gonna win because it's one of the best fights in boxing, if not the best fight. And don't be surprised if there's a rematch, because I feel like this is gonna be a great fight.
I agree with you. I don't see it as a short night unless somebody decides to mix it up when they shouldn't. I see Shakur winning the early rounds by staying outside, but I see. I see this fight like Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, the first one, but a little closer than the first fight was. When Duran was able to catch him and catch Leonard, and then Leonard was still able to win some rounds by boxing and moving. This has all the makings, Mark, for a classic.
Yes, definitely, and I feel like it's gonna be a good warm up for the Bivol and Canelo fight.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. And we're gonna have to catch Marc Castro, ladies and gentlemen. That's May 14th. Marc Castro will be on the undercard of Canelo Alvarez, Las Vegas, Nevada. It doesn't get any better or badder than that. I want to thank Marc right now for taking the time out of his training, out of his daily routines, to give the fighters' voice and the fans, the followers, and the supporters a piece of Marc Castro, not just a boxing, but a piece of Marc Castro. And Marc, before I let you go, man, one tough question, because your answer is going to go to the archives. When it's all said and done, Marc, when that's it, and you're sitting back on your rocking chair, how do you want people to remember Marc Castro?
I feel like this is how I want them to remember me. Just remember me as a good all-around person and just been real. But at the same time, I feel like I operate out of, like, in a sense of, like, I'm not here to, like, satisfy people. I'm here to, like, satisfy God. And it doesn't matter what the people think of me, because I'm here to satisfy God. And if I'm good with God, then I should be good with everybody else.
There you go. How do you follow that? I can't even ask you what's the hottest podcast in this area, because I can't even ask you that now.
Yeah.
I mean, Marc, you're making me humble, bro. I can't even,
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. Maybe I needed to be humble. I'm sure, because I'm gonna be honest with you, Marc. Right before this interview, things were not going right at all. Period. They were not, and I'm glad we took the time to talk about things and also honor God throughout the whole conversation. And it also relaxed me. And I haven't had such a good time on the show like this as I had today. And that is the God honest truth. I'm telling you the truth.
I enjoyed it as well, but I'm glad you did.
Hey, I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of The Fighter's Voice. I want to thank our guest, Marc Castro. Marc, real quick, how can we follow you? And what are you on?
Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Marc the Boxer, MarcTheBoxer, Marc the Boxer.
Hey, and also follow The Fighter's Voice YouTube. That's www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. As always, it's a wrap with Marc Castro from Fresno, California. And as always, the best part of the show, thumbs up for Richie.